Meanwhile, Democratic presidential hopefuls faced off in their first debate in Las Vegas. There were long-shot candidates Jim Webb and Lincoln Chafee there, along with Martin O'Malley, and they had their chance to make their case. The two frontrunners, though, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, dominated the discussion. Here are some of the best moments from last night.
Is Bernie Sanders tough enough on guns?
No, not at all. Senator Sanders did vote 5 times against the Brady bill. He also did vote, as he said, for this immunity provision. I voted against it. I was in the Senate at the same time. It wasn't that complicated to me.
Before this debate, Secretary Clinton's campaign put out a lot of reversals on positions on Keystone and many other things.
Everybody on this stage has changed a position or two. If you are learning, you're going to change your position. I never took a position on Keystone until I took a position on Keystone.
You have the 3 largest banks in America are much bigger than they were when we bailed them out for being too big to fail. We have got to break them up.
I respect the passion and intensity. I represented Wall Street as a senator from New York, and I went to Wall Street in December of 2007, before the big crash that we had, and I basically said, cut it out.
Secretary Clinton, you do not, Congress does not regulate Wall Street. Wall Street regulates Congress. And we have got to break off these banks. Going to them and saying, please do the right thing.
No, that's not what,
kind of naive.
Look, I think Dodd-Frank was a very good start. Tonight, I want to talk not about my emails, but about what the American people want.
The American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails.
Thank you. Me too. Me too.
Enough of the emails. Let's talk about the real issues facing America.
Editor-in-chief of The Hill, Bob Cusack, joins us from Washington to break down last night's debate. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Vlad, thanks for having me.
So I know, there's a question there, who were the winners and losers last night? I wonder if there was as big of a distinction when you look at it that way as we saw in the GOP debate. Were there winners and losers?
I think there were. I mean, I think that Hillary Clinton was the clear winner. You had some doubts about her, certainly recently, dipping poll numbers, the email controversy. And here, I thought she just hit a home run. She answered some very tough questions with political aplomb. I mean, she put on a great performance, and especially for the first debate, everyone's watching the first debate, not so much maybe the later debates, and she did very well. I don't think Bernie Sanders did poorly. I think he did well, but she outpitched him, basically, and the other 3 I don't think are going to get any type of bounce.
Did Secretary Clinton do enough to address her critics with regards to her email scandal, not being trustworthy, changing policy stances? Is it enough to maintain her lead?
I think it's enough to maintain her lead in the Democratic primary, and which she is on top, though, as far as Iowa and New Hampshire, it's very close between her and Bernie Sanders. But as far as her critics, no. Her critics are going to have a lot to say when she comes up to Capitol Hill later this month and testifies before the Benghazi committee. Remember, the FBI is looking into her emails, so she cannot just dodge this issue. There's been drips and drips of news coming out on it. But this was certainly a great night, and I think it's going to be a great week for her.
I don't want to focus just on Secretary Clinton and Senator Sanders. I mean, there were other potential candidates on the stage there. Those 3, Martin O'Malley, Lincoln Chafee, and Jim Webb, how do you think they did? Were they able to do anything to move the needle so perhaps that we're talking about them a bit more than we will the other 2 frontrunners?
It was a big question of who was going to get a Carly Fiorina type of bounce from the debate. Carly Fiorina did very well in the Republican debates, but I don't see any of these 3 getting any type of bounce. Honestly, I don't think they stood out. I think O'Malley struggled on the question about what he did as governor of Maryland, especially in the context of the Baltimore violence. Lincoln Chafee was a Republican. Jim Webb was a Republican. That doesn't resonate with the base. I thought some of their answers were honestly odd at times, and I don't think that we're going to see this race tighten up. I don't think those 3 are going to get any type of bounce, honestly.
All right, let's talk about the wild card. We didn't see Vice President Joe Biden, although I'm told from my friends at CNN that there was a podium there just in case. Do you think this debate will do anything to help or perhaps cool some of the calls that have been out there for him to run?
I do think it was a good, if he's going to get in this race, I think it was a very good decision not to participate in the first debate because you want to prep for it and you want to be able to hit a home run. And certainly Hillary Clinton showed up with her A game. So I do think it probably lessens the chances that Biden gets in. And we'll see what the polls say after this debate. But I still think Biden is going to get in. I think everything that he's been saying publicly and privately over the last month or so indicates he is going to run. But he's at a big disadvantage organizationally. But his poll numbers are pretty good. And against Republicans in one-on-one matchups in a hypothetical general election, he's actually doing better than Hillary Clinton. So I do think he gets in, but he's got to make that decision awfully soon because we're getting late in the game.
To be continued. Bob Cusack at The Hill, thank you so much.
Thank you.